volunteering is something that, has typically been a part of ISPI. When I compare ISPI to other organizations I have been involved in, it is even more critical to being able to meet the mission. So that's why I want to spend a little bit of time talking about it. So why should you volunteer? At ISPI, we like to say that our volunteer opportunities help you expand your professional skills and knowledge. It builds relationships in the field. We're all good about networking and building relationships, but I find that when I volunteer, and even how I started at ISPI, there's always a person I wouldn't have met had I not taken that opportunity to volunteer. It strengthens the organization. As I said, volunteers are critical to us being able to carry out our mission. We don't have any employees or no staff, and we're a completely virtual distributed organization nowadays. So volunteers are the lifeblood, if you will. And there's a great deal of satisfaction that comes from having a deeper engagement as a member beyond just the benefits and the services you get for your dues. So it's this other dimension that really deepens your experience and your satisfaction as a member. I want to share in the chat, Jerry, if you happen to have it available. There is a link to our volunteer opportunities that I will summarize here. If not, I will add them later. Chapters, of course, chapter leadership volunteers. There's always opportunities for that. We have about half a dozen chapters that are dormant, sort of in the expectancy of being able to have some volunteers engage with them. It does require membership with the chapter as well as ISPI International. We have our committees at headquarters, ISPI International. I go back and forth between headquarters and ISPI International. We have members in the committees that help carry out the work and give direction. We have, of course, a chair and a deputy chair that we would like to have in place for each of our committees. And there are plenty. Right now, we have 13 committees. We may pare that down a little bit as the year goes through, but, to right fit to our volunteers. But that is part of the reason I'm here talking about the volunteer development path. And then the board, of course, is the decision maker and the advisor of ISPI's present and future. And they are elected based on their chairing experience. So that we made them so they're a little bit easier for you to fit into your busy lives and your other commitments. So we have the micro volunteer that is 3 hours per month. So those are very distinct tasks and opportunities that committees share out to volunteers. The general volunteer, typically at that committee level or group level or event level, will have 3 to 6 hours per month that we will need their time and talent. And then the leadership volunteers who are deeply engaged and committed to the future of ISPI, and it's 6 to 10 hours per month. Now, we don't collect timesheets, we don't do any of those things, but to give you an idea of what the expectations are, it seemed like this was the easiest way to communicate that in terms of level of effort to volunteering in different capacities. And there is membership, subscriptions, and technology. I've put them all on the same line because they are really very critical to being able to deliver our services and give value to our members, not just yourself, but your peers. Marketing, social media, and communications, of course, is important to the awareness, the brand, the communication that goes along with being ISPI in today's world. And then operations and governance. And operations and governance is an interesting area to volunteer in, certainly the one that's near and dear to my heart, because I'm directly responsible for it. Because ISPI is in what I like to call a rebirth. And that rebirth has been propelled by many external forces, right? The same ones that we're experiencing day in and day out today, as well as just generational and fiscal at points, financial at points. So operations and governance is an area that needs a lot of volunteers that are willing to help with those areas, those foundational areas, infrastructure areas of the association. If something I've said today or something you've come across in the future inspires you to give your time and talent, that is the form that you would submit. And it would go to a couple of us on the board, and we would reach out to you and start the process of placement and potentially onboarding as a volunteer. It's a very simple form, not very complicated. You just check a few things, answer a couple questions, and off we go. We do the rest in a conversational mode when we reach out to you.